Hello TNA fam, how's it going for today? We are back at the Impact Zone podcast again to talk more TNA wrestling shenanigans, and of course we're here to talk TNA Turning Point. Now I know there is some big news in some areas and whatnot, but I will get to them in a separate video. This is just looking at this card and doing predictions for now. So first up, I want to talk about Leon versus Rich Swann. Obviously, I said this before. Just have to say it again. Go through all of these. This would have been really cool if this had been built up. It's not. Here we are. This is a fine thing. I said I'd like to see this, and I think probably the main reason, or sort of one of the reasons for this, is because I think they still feel like they can't trust Swann 100%, or there's still some negativity there and whatnot and all of that sort of stuff. So I think, they're again trying to build up their young talent, which is, I agree with, but it sucks that there's not much here. So it will be a fine match. Can't wait to see this one, because it will be really good. But beyond that, I know Leon's winning. They're not going to change course here on this one at this point. Kalani Jordan is now going to face M by Elegance. Heather by Elegance couldn't get it done. I don't see M getting it done. So yeah, I just don't see this. Kalani's going to retain this. It will interest me to see where you're going to get the next person from, who it's going to be, and how they're going to get there. Maybe you're going to go back to Indy Hartwell. I'm not too sure. I'll be talking about her a bit more in a few minutes or so. We'll have to wait and see. Knockouts Tag Team Championship Triple Threat. The Inspiration versus the Angel Warriors and Victoria Crawford and Tessa Blanchard. Sort of interesting to see that they are pushing Tessa Blanchard more into that quote-unquote mid-card, or whatever you want to call it. But I think that they kind of have to do that because, again, several reasons, not just personal or professional or what have you, but they need more tag teams, and these two have kind of been a tag team for a while. As I said before, I don't see anything changing. You could put the titles on Victoria and Tessa, but I don't know. I think it would be a bad choice with the internet. I'd be 100% behind it, 100% fine with it, and I'm sure a few other TNA fans would be, but I don't think the wider audience would be. The next one, this one really bothers me as well, because I've said before, especially with the main event, it's dude, you've got to have stakes. There's no stakes in this next one. It's just a match. It's the Hardys and Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali and the Great Hands. Kind of almost feel like the Great Hands should win, but I kind of doubt that they will win, because the Hardys have just won and won and won and won. So, but I kind of want to see them win, because eventually somebody's got to beat them, and I kind of want the Good Hands or the Great Hands to do it. But still, obviously, since the titles aren't on the line here, nothing's really changing there, which, again, just is a big deflation. Next up, I want to talk about JDC retiring next year. This has kind of come out of nowhere. I'm assuming it's because him and his wife are going to have a kid and they're going to settle down and all this other stuff. And he's probably looked to retire for a while. He's in that bracket of people that are kind of, it's time to start looking at unlacing those boots and whatnot. So, but yeah, sad to see him go next year. Hopefully he can go out on a high. But he is teaming with his system brethren against the Rascals, and they have a mystery fourth Rascal. Cough dares. But we can't say that because of legal reasons, but we will wait to see. Obviously, again, there's not much on the line here. It's kind of cool to see the Rascals, and I kind of feel like, they kind of need the win, but I don't know. It kind of would be nice for JDC to get the win. I don't know. Just be cool to kind of see West back, or whoever they're bringing in, I guess. AJ Francis versus BDE is next. I've got nothing to say, really. This is... Francis is winning, bro. Come on. And where's this going? Nowhere. I guess, you might be trying to kind of push Francis to the top, but I don't know. A no disqualifications match between Indy Hartwell and Danny Luna looms. So there is that. Yeah, I said it before, I'm not sure where you're going to go. I kind of want them to go with Danny, but she's not in the right position. But though they've had, thus far, two heels, Em and Heather, go up against Kalani, who's meant to be a heel. And Kalani is, jumping around the place and doing cartwheels and such and whatnot, and not doing, a lot of heel work out there. She was letting Heather do a lot of the heel work out there. So yeah, I still, I don't know this one. This one's the hardest because, in some ways, because it's this determines your direction. Are you really going to go down the road with Indy? Okay, why? She's already lost to Kalani. Yes, you could rebuild her up, but, and that's not bad if you're saying that it's going to take time. That's fine. You can have a bunch of other challengers, but there aren't that really many, so I don't know. And I just feel bad for Danny in that regard, if that's the case. And you start saying, well, is it time for her to, do something else and change direction or whatever, even though this direction has only just sort of started, but whatever, it is what it is. But those are my thoughts on the updated card. Obviously, we'll be here tomorrow after the show to do a post-show review and try to see where we're going for final resolution and whatnot. We've got some other news, as I said, but just quickly wanted to come on here and give my quick thoughts. As I said, I don't have much to say. I knew I wouldn't have much to say. It's cool to see what they've actually got. But again, even if they had have built this up a month ago, I still wouldn't feel like a lot's going to change. So we'll have to wait and see some of the things. And I have to talk about the situation in the main event with Frankie and whatnot. But that will be in a separate video. So do look forward to seeing that later on the podcast. So I hope you have enjoyed this one for what it is. And I hope you all join me again in another one.